So I got to do another interview, this time with Jimi Partington. You've seen Jimmy on Shark Week before in some of the most exciting episodes. You'll see him again this year on Great White Serial Killer Extinction and Tiger Shark King, and he's cute and British, and here I am talking to him.
Woo. My first question is, what is your favorite shark?
Favorite species of shark or personal?
If you have a specific favorite, like, that's better. But
all right, well, we can do both. Well, when I was a kid, it was always the thresher shark. I always loved that guy. But you know, I can't. I've been attracted to the white shark the whole of my life. There's no other shark in the world that is capable of jumping out the water with a full seal in its mouth. And so for that reason, they're called great whites for a reason, because they're great. So it would have to be the white shark. But like I said, they do have individual personalities as well. So we do have specifics. So there's one shark at the moment. She's probably my favorite. She's called Scarborough. She's called Scarborough because she has crazy scarring down her right side. And she's like the epitome of a great white shark. She's like the one behind you. She's just, if you could draw a caricature of a great white, she's the perfect one. She's covered with scars. She's a big female. She's around 18 foot. So she's awesome. And the cool thing about her is we only see her every 2 years. So she kind of plays hard to get a little bit with us, which is cool. It makes you want her more.
Yeah.
So when we see her, it's really, really great, and then we'll go a year without seeing her. And then obviously when she turns up to the boat again, it's like everybody's just loving it,
Well, is this the year or do you have to wait?
Yes, it is. She likes the even years. So, and most of my sharks come back on even years. So I prefer these years. So yeah, 2020, 18, 16, 14, and so on. That's where we see a lot of these famous big females. The Scarborough is one of them. So I've done all kinds of crazy stuff with her over the years. But she's one that you'd watch out for. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't know if I would be comfortable if I wasn't in a cage with her. And she's been seen now for almost over 10 years.
Wow.
Over 10 years. Which is pretty remarkable because, you go and you see the sharks and then, like I say, they migrate away. And so do I. I come back to England. She goes off and goes to around the Pacific, goes on holiday. And then we come back and then we spend this time together and then that's it, So it's pretty remarkable given that it's a fish in the middle of the ocean and it can go wherever the hell it wants. And yet we meet 200 miles out at sea for these couple of months,
That's amazing. Well, you guys are going to have a beautiful fall together,
I hope so. Scarborough's great. If Scarborough turns up at the boat, I jump in the cage, with all my guests. So my guests are like, wow, this must be good if he's getting excited. And it is. So yeah, Scarborough would be my favorite. And of course, I have to go with great white. As boring as that answer might be.
No, well, now I'm hoping that you have a personalized answer for question number 2, which is, what's your least favorite shark? Do you know one that you're like, screw that guy, man?
Yeah. Do you know what? We do get that sometimes because I call the ones that I don't like punks.
Okay.
They're like the generic ones. So you have these ones that have big personalities. You get to know them really well, and then you just have like these other ones that are just sort of like making up the numbers. They're like the extras. Yeah, and some of them, I mean, the whole crew get fond of different sharks. So there's one shark out that we know there called Droggin.
Okay.
And he's completely crazy, sneaky. So he'll hide underneath the boat, and then when you throw the bait out, he'll hide under the boat, and then he'll rush out from underneath the boat and snatch it. So it becomes a bit of a game playing with Droggin, So some of the crew will get particularly fond of certain sharks to the point where they're like, "Oh, Droggin has just turned up. Like, he's mine. Like, I'm playing with him today, So, but I can't say that I like particularly dislike any of them.
You're allowed to pick like a general shark.
A general shark. Well, there's a species called a cookie cutter shark, which is also around where we go to see the great whites, but we never see them. So they kind of annoy me because we have tried to film them. We've put down cameras at night, and we're always trying to film the cookie cutter shark, and he always gets away. So he's like a little shit,
Interestingly enough, I interviewed Vicky Vasquez, who did the
Oh yeah.
sharks, and so her favorite shark was the cookie cutter shark, and her favorite shark was the
Yeah,
great
but
shark.
she's a scientist.
Right, you guys should.
She's a scientist, you see, and I'm a tour guide. So
You have opposite opinions.
the scientists love all those kind of nerdy, weird kind of sharks. Where I'm just into like the big hitters. I want the ones that are just gonna open their mouths and they're gonna perform, for our guests.
Yeah.
But yeah, Vicky probably wants to go and find some, elusive thing that lives under a rock at 1,000 feet.
She wants bioluminescence. She wants.
Yeah. They're into that. They're into that.
That's so funny. Okay, third question. Other than sharks, what would you say is your next favorite animal?
Oh, bulldogs.
Bulldogs.
Yeah, or dogs in general. Yeah. Dogs in general. Well, the thing is, I compare sharks to dogs.
Mm-hmm.
So because of all these different personalities, and my dream dog would be an English bulldog. So my sister has one,
Okay.
and it's my favorite creature on earth, pretty much, apart from sharks.
I really want you to have your favorite dog. It's not like, oh, my favorite's an elephant, and you have to live your whole life without one. Like, you could get an English bulldog.
Yeah, I could do, but I spend too much time at sea. That's the problem, you see. So I'll have to leave the pooch behind.
So I realized when I was telling Vicky these questions that they make me sound like a creep. Wait. So the questions are based on the actor's studio, inside the actor's studio.
Oh yeah.
So the question used to be like, what turns you on? But that's too weird in general. So the question is, what shark fact turns you on?
The personalities. That's my thing. I particularly like the behaviors of the sharks. We spend so much time out there. I mean, I probably spend more time with sharks than I do my own family.
Mm-hmm.
So you get to know them really, really well. And get to know these different personalities, and some of them are bold and boisterous, and some of them are completely shy. So yeah, I think the personality is the main thing. You can tell that to people, but the great thing is when you get people to come and see it for themselves, it's very, very obvious to see. They really have these strong personalities.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, we're just stretching it a little bit. They really are, like I said, like the dogs. To the point when they come to the boat, you can predict what they're going to do. So we can mix up the different baits. We're like, this one likes this, or if we're filming for Shark Week, and the cameraman wants to get a particular shot, we're going to be like, okay, Emma is the type of shark that you want that for. If you want to get the close up with the mouth open, or if you want to free dive with a shark, and get some beautiful shot where you're swimming alongside the animal, then you're going to want, one of these relaxed females, preferably, as opposed to these little crazy boys who are nuts. So that's probably like the main thing. And I think when you spend more time with them, and when we show people the sharks, people start to see it themselves rather than me telling them. Mm-hmm. They start to pick up on this, and there's like, oh, there's that one from yesterday that keeps doing this crazy approach, or that one doesn't play well with all the others, and it's like harassing them, and and the guests start to pick up all these different personality traits. So I think that for me is certainly the thing that captures people's imagination more than anything else.
So then the next question is, what shark fact turns you off?
I would say there's not really a fact that turns me off, but it would be more the misinterpretation of facts. Mm-hmm. When you hear these people kind of spout all these crazy facts, like one drop of blood and the shark can smell it, and if you splash around, the shark's going to come and bite your leg, So I think that those types of things annoy me because they're completely taken out of the wrong context. They are true, sharks are attracted to sound and things like that. And yes, in theory, that one shark can smell that one drop of blood in, the size of an Olympic swimming pool or whatever they say. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to do it. So you hear about all these crazy stats, but that's not really what's going on. That to me should just be seen as how cool their senses are, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're black and white and they're just going to go and do that. It's just not the case, So those kind of myths that get thrown out there, taken the wrong way, are definitely my least favorites. Yeah,
Yeah.
they make me cringe. You know, it's like I watch Shark Week or I
Dangerous.
hear someone saying it, and I'm like, you know.
I know, because it doesn't take much for people to get completely panicked. People are willing to take in any little shark fact and make it.
No, and we have a lot of power. Certainly, me and the other folks on Shark Week. You know, because people believe anything we say.
Yeah.
You know, I can say anything, and people
Yeah.
are like, "Oh, wow, really?"
Yeah.
Yeah. So I try and keep it real. You know,
Yeah.
let's just try and keep it real.
Yeah.
Otherwise, people's imaginations will go crazy.
Yeah, totally. Okay. This one is just me. This next question is purely just me being a creep. It has nothing to do with the actor studio. I can't blame them. Besides yourself, who's the sexiest Shark Week alum?
Oh, it has to be Paul, doesn't it? I mean, yeah. I mean,
that's probably the answer.
I mean, even I fancy Paul.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Paul, and he is a very good-looking man. It has to be said.
Yeah.
We run trips with Paul, so yeah, he comes on the boat. He's actually.
Are you like fangirls on trips for Paul together?
You wouldn't believe what those trips are like. Like.
Oh, I might.
Yeah, I mean, well, you can imagine.
I'm asking the question. I might believe.
They're usually good fun. Let's put it like that. They're a lot of fun. But yeah, no, Paul's good. He's a genuine guy, actually. But very, very talented. You know, he's got it all, and he's got the looks, the shark bite, the personality, the accent. You know, he ticks all the boxes. So, but he is genuinely really good guy. So it has to be Paul. Do you know what I mean? Hopefully,
anyone's gonna
I'd
fight.
like to think that Paul, if you're asking him, would say me.
Okay.
But
well,
I wouldn't mind if
he has.
He just says himself. To be
so
honest,
like
he'll probably.
Yeah. Great. Okay. Next question. What is the biggest shark mistake that you've made?
What do you mean, a mistake?
Well, when I wrote the question, I was thinking like, have you ever like gotten hurt trying to do something, but then talking to Vicky, she just like misnamed a shark once, and I was like, oh yeah, that is a mistake too.
Oh, yeah, again, for a scientist, that would be very embarrassing. So I've had some close calls with the great whites, but I got left at sea once with a whale shark.
Oh, that's a mistake.
Which was cool. Like, or different, or maybe a mistake. I used to run whale shark tours in Australia. And I was a spotter. So that meant that there was a plane that would fly about and it would find whale sharks. Then it would radio the boat and say, okay, there's a whale shark. And then my job was to jump off the boat, swim to the whale shark, confirm that it was a whale shark and not a great white or a tiger or something like that. Yeah, so they kind of threw me in first, and then I would put my hand in the air. That was confirmation, whale shark. And then they would send in all the guests and the swimmers to come, and they would say, right, swim to Jim. He's got the whale shark. Anyway, and that's what we do. But this particular day, jumped in with the whale shark, and no one came in the water. And my job was to never leave the whale shark, because, you know, don't leave the shark, you know. So we were swimming for the boat, and the shark was swimming away from each other. So I started to swim out to sea with the shark, and the boat just kind of didn't move and got smaller and smaller on the horizon. So I was like, well, what do I do? Do I leave the shark or do I swim back to the boat? What's going on here? And I thought, well, the plane was circling. So I was like, well, I can see the plane can see me. But this went on for hours. And what happened is the boat had broken down. So they just left me.
We're all screwed.
Yeah, so the boat had broken down. So it was probably in the best place anyway, you know. I was getting to hang out with this whale shark. But it was quite bizarre because I was, you know, miles away from anyone. And I was just hoping that the plane was still, you know, not going to lose me.
Yeah, because I mean, there's a whole, that's open water. That's just a whole series of horror movies happening to you.
Yeah, but I had the shark, and the whale sharks are big, so I thought if I stick around with the whale shark, I'll be safe.
You can ride it to safety. And
and so I was like swimming alongside it, and it's looking at me, and I'm looking at it, and you know, and this went on for hours in the middle of the ocean.
Hours?
Yeah. Yeah.
How long total were you out there?
Oh, like hours on end. I don't know. I've lost
Well,
track.
yeah, you wouldn't know because you're.
It was the tropics, so it was like nice weather, and it was
Okay,
beautiful blue water and stuff.
anyway.
But I did eventually get picked up by another boat. They put a radio call out to come and get me,
God.
and then we all went out that night, and I didn't have to buy a beer in the pub that night. I was like the hero. It was hilarious.
Well, actually, speaking of horror movies, would you rather, is the next question, watch Jaws 3 or Deep Blue Sea?
Well, I mean, have you seen Jaws 3? It's
I had to pick the
but I would probably rather watch it, actually.
Really?
Well, I have a soft spot for Jaws. I mean, the original, was my favorite movie when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So for that reason, I would probably still prefer to watch it, but it's probably the worst shark movie that is out there. Well, the thing about it, there's some bad ones, but the thing about it is it's not trying to be bad. It was trying to be good.
Yeah, if it was trying to be bad, maybe it would have embraced. I did watch, have you seen Santa Jaws?
No, I haven't heard about it either.
Well, a mall Santa gets eaten by a shark, and the shark has the hat stuck to its fin, and it eats an elf. It's not good either, so it could be worse.
Yeah, but do you know what I mean? It's trying to be bad, isn't it?
I think it was trying to be bad.
So they're okay, but I think Jaws 3, they really messed it up because they were like, oh, this is going to be really good. And it's like, what? But we get all the guests. If you came on our boat, you'd be the guest, I bet, that would bring all these movies and things like that.
It's like a bag of DVDs.
Yeah, we get people bringing all this stuff on and then putting it on, So unfortunately, I have actually I've been forced to watch a lot of this, a lot of these movies.
No one's forcing me. Okay, next question. Would you rather cage dive in a wetsuit full of dead fish or free dive completely naked with sharks? Obviously.
Cage dive.
But you're full of fish. You've been packed full of
That sounds like something that Discovery Channel producer would come to me about. That sounds like one of their ideas. In fact, I might take a note of that. I'll give you credit.
Thank you.
Well, free diving naked just doesn't sound right in any way.
No.
Is it?
But the other one.
I mean, you're in a cage. I'd have to if it was swimming. If it was free diving with the wetsuit, absolutely no chance.
Oh no.
I'd rather go naked. Yeah, because that's the quickest way to get bitten is to cover yourself in bait.
Just stuff yourself with fish.
Yeah, it really does work. Yeah, so I'd go. You're fine in the cage. I'd go with the cage.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, to be honest, I've pretty much done that anyway. I've had people pour buckets of bait over me, while I'm in the cage and things like that, and I have gone down with little bits of fish up my sleeve and things like that.
Okay, well, we've made it to the last question, which is, if you could have any shark-based wish come true, what would it be?
I'm already doing it. Yeah. So that would have been my dream since I was a kid. Yeah. So being on Shark Week, I suppose that was pretty cool as well. But just working with them initially, I didn't do this to get into Shark Week. I was working with sharks for years before, producers came to me and stuff like that. And I will still go on and I'll still be the person on the boat, even if the film shoots dry up and things like that. So just being able to do what I do was one dream. And then it was pretty cool. Once Shark Week started doing it, I think I've been doing it for about 7 years or something now. And we've done the stuff that I've got to do in Shark Week. I've been in submarines and I've been free diving and, we've been, you'll have to watch the shows this year to see what I'm doing this year. Like living the dream, because we also do get to do the stuff that we can't normally do on say a tourist trip. Mm-hmm. So, if Discovery Channel come to me with some crazy crackpot idea, I'm usually super keen on it because it's something that I dreamt up initially anyway,
Yeah, amazing. Oh, well, that's the end of the questions. Thank you so much.
No problem. It was a pleasure.